Okay, we are back to our painting from last time. It's the Oops, I Spilled the Paint. If you remember, we started with pencil and we drew our own organic shape. It had to go in all of these areas. Then we started to add the red and the orange with both tints, so pink and then a kind of a peachy color. That's where we left off. I noticed that not everyone went in the correct order, but we can fix that today. The colors that you're going to start with today would be yellow and then move into the green, blue, and purple. The paper plate should have the colors and then also white. When you start, it's really important that you line up your yellow next to your orange. So mine happens to go under it. Some people will go next to it. Just depends on where you put your orange. If you were out of order last time, well, you'll figure that out. Next, you're going to just take that brush. So I'm not going to wash my brush yet. I'm just going to grab whatever yellow was left on my brush and I'm going to make the tint. I don't need to get more. Just use whatever's already on your brush. Yellow's a tricky one to start with today because you can barely see the difference between the tint of yellow and regular yellow. It's such a light color. But again, you don't need to add a lot of extra color to the white. It will, just a little bit will change it. Now make sure you're switching your brush and cleaning it before you move to a different color. So I did wash my brush, wiped it. Now I'm digging into the green. The green is next to the yellow. Again, we're going in rainbow order, otherwise known as color wheel order. Outlining first, trying really hard to make it nice and smooth. I'm going around my name. I ended up changing that later, but for today, it's best to be safe, so try not to hide your name under a dark color. I'm finishing up the green. I will not wash my brush right now. I will just take that little bit of green that's left on the brush and make the tint. So I'm picking a section of white, stirring. Really, I kind of bounce my brush. Now, you don't want to stir to the point where the paint spreads all over your paper plate. Then you don't have enough room for mixing other colors. So now, again, outlining with my tint and filling it in. If you've noticed, you guys, I've got this video on super speed. So it looks like I'm moving a lot faster than I truly do. Just touching up those last few spots. There was a drop of orange in there. I'm trying to hide it. Before I move to blue, I wash my brush. So switch colors means wash your paintbrush. Grabbing some blue. The outside area is the dark. The inside is the light. So blue is on the outside, and then the tint of blue, whatever you want to call that, baby blue, sky blue, light blue, whatever, that will go on the inside. I'll finish up. Do not wash my brush. Use it to mix the tint and then paint it. So the first person who finishes each color probably will get to be the person who makes the tint, unless you guys come up with a different solution for mixing and taking turns, which is fine with me. As long as we are keeping track of what we're doing, we don't need 3 blobs of white turning into baby blue. We want to make sure we have a tint for each color, and that means just one is transformed at a time. All right, finishing up my whole project here. Washed my brush, grabbed some regular purple, filled in that space, super speed, take that little bit of paint, make the tint, and finish it up. Again, bounce, bounce, bounce on the brush. That's the best way to mix it and not make your colors get too big and too spread out. I'm outlining. And then I'll take a minute at the very end and just check my work. If I've missed a spot, oh, there's one. Boy, I just washed my brush too. Oh well. Get that little bit of light purple, fill in that space. If you missed last time with the red and the orange, or if you really messed up today, go ahead and start with yellow, work through the green, blue, purple. We'll see how far you get. You might end up doing the first colors last, and that's okay. Absolutely no one else should be pouring paint. It's only Mrs. Leopold. When you're done, our art needs to go in the drying rack. Actually in the correct spot in the drying rack. You're about to get your papers out of your folders and realize many of you put your art in the wrong spot last time, so you're gonna have to start looking around the room and figuring out where you left your painting because it was not in the correct spot in the drying rack when I unloaded it. Here's my finish. It's just waiting for a little shadow and some highlight. If you don't get all the way finished today, that's okay. Just do as much as you can, but do your best. Do your best.